Welcome, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, back to another episode of the Think Global podcast. I'm very, very excited to have each and every one of you with us today, and we should have a really, really good conversation. Thank you for joining us. Normally on the Think Global podcast, we like to discuss about Americans who are going to live abroad and doing good and fascinating stuff in the terms of business and education and sports. This time we're going to cross over the other side of the Atlantic, and we actually have an individual with me today who's going to bring on the show Mr. Kenny Rubaduka, who is living in Rwanda, but he has went over to the U.S. to study and to also to absorb all the business entrepreneurship skills that he's going to talk about today. So with no further ado, I'd like to welcome Kenny onto the show.
Think global, that's our call. Azomco leading, standing tall, made in Rwanda. Big ballers play, getting it in, paving the way.
All right, thank you for having me, sir. As you mentioned, my name is Kenny Rubaduka. I am an entrepreneur and a business development consultant based in Rwanda. I work across agriculture, technology, and logistics, as well as sports. I'm passionate about building solutions that move my country forward, that move Rwanda forward. Yeah.
Well, thank you, sir, for coming on the show. And as you already know, we have a segment on our show called the World Call. And that's when we give our guests 10 seconds to name off some of the countries that they've been to. So right now, we're going to put Kenny on the ready, go.
All right, I've been blessed to travel to Kenya, Dar es Salaam, the US, Amsterdam, Dubai, Senegal, Mali, China, Poland,
All right.
Germany.
I think the 10
That's
seconds
it.
is up, but
That's
man, that's a
all.
very
Thank God.
diverse, well, you everything from China to Poland to the Middle East and then on to the USA. What I wanted to start our conversation was about is actually about your experience in the US and traveling and living abroad. I think you went to college in the US. Is that correct? You studied? If so, what
Yes,
state did you
sir.
end up in?
So I was actually there for high school first. I was in Layton, Utah, Layton Christian Academy. That's where I had my last 2 years of high school. And then I had my first year of college in Montana, Yellowstone Christian. Shout out Yellowstone. Hope you guys are doing well. And from then on, I moved back to Utah in St. George, which is closer to Nevada. And I was at Dixie State University, which is actually now Utah Tech University, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah,
Okay.
that was my experience in traveling in the US as far.
Nice, nice, nice. So tell me about what were your expectations before getting there and then kind of what was the reality on the ground? So here's a kid from Rwanda who has, I mean, obviously the US is the most popular country in the world. You have big dreams. You're going to go to, the big country of the USA. And now you get there. Like, tell us about the expectations and about what the reality was on the ground.
My expectations were honestly just kind of very optimistic, as most children from Africa are when they're traveling abroad. I was hoping to get to the States, work hard, play hard, and then end up in the basketball league. Eventually, end up in the NBA. Now, the reality was that every other kid, both American and foreign, was doing the exact same thing, and most were working much harder than me. So I realized very, very quickly that I did not have the work effort, the work ethic to reach the league, and I had to build on that while I got there. So yeah, the first thing I realized was Americans work very hard. As much as the land of opportunity and the land of dreams, I think every single person there that achieved something has done it through extreme hard work and effort. That was the number one lesson I learned there for sure.
Okay, so what about like the challenges? So you're realizing this, you're in a foreign country, you're in a foreign culture, environment. What were some of the challenges? And did you ever feel like, hey, this was something that maybe I couldn't really get past, was it difficult at first and how did you overcome those challenges?
It was difficult at first, mainly because I did not think I had the tools to conjure up the mentality that most Americans have, um, especially in Utah. There was already a very big basketball scene, very much well-developed players already going into their junior year and senior year next to that. So what I had was, I guess I had to figure out how to work as hard as them, which was difficult, but I had a great support system from my high school, from my sister Linda, great support system helping me always stay focused and locked in. I think one of the challenges I faced was distraction. You know, when you're a young kid, I was 15 when I got there. So when you're pretty young and arriving into a new country that has as much going on as the States, I mean, comparing Rwanda to Utah, it's still day and night in comparison to how much you can do in society and
Mhm.
what's going on all around you. So I guess the challenge that I had was just staying focused and not trying to experience America, not trying to experience the US, not trying to have too much fun. A challenge that I had was actually I once snuck out to a house party with some friends. There was six of us in the car, and I was the only one that got injured. Really, really still think about that to this day. What stuck with me that was before I even left the house, I had like a really good, strong gut feeling just to stay home and go to bed, wake up for practice the next day. But you know, when you're a kid, you want to experience as much as you can, and the concept of consequences is very foreign to you. So, you know, realizing that my gut is always right is something that I had to experience firsthand. And yeah, your instincts don't lie. For anybody watching, your instincts don't lie. Always listen to your instincts.
So what happened? You guys got a car accident, or
Oh
how did
man.
you?
So we stopped for Dunkin' Donuts, or it's snowing by the way,
Mm,
and the person driving us did not have a license. Oh, this is so funny to think about. So she didn't have a license, and none of us knew about this.
mhm.
And we stopped for donuts. We're at the gas station. I have two Dunkin' Donuts. Super excited about them. And as I'm about to get back, they're actually glazed. Maybe not Dunkin' Donuts, but they were glazed donuts. And as we're about to get back in the car, I get a call from my friend. He says, "Yo, if you're not at the house, you should head back right now." Me being a 15-year-old, just trying to experience the States and have fun, I said, "You know what? I'm fine. Okay, I'll be fine. I'm gonna go out, have a good time, be back in 2 hours." Not even 30 minutes later, we're going down the highway, and it's her first time driving in the snow as well, not having a
Mm.
license. So loses control, drives straight into a pole, and yeah, I was the only one out of six people in the car to get injured. That was probably the biggest shock to me. But yeah, the experience itself was an eye opener. I knew not to get in the car. I knew not to do what I shouldn't be doing, but I still went forward with it. And yeah, gut feelings,
Wow.
yeah.
Well, we're very fortunate and grateful that, that could have been, sounds like it could have been a lot worse driving on ice and snow and hitting poles with vehicles. That sounds very,
Mhm.
very serious. So you were originally part of the Rwandan national basketball team back in the day. Was that the reason why you went over to Utah? Was it like a scholarship, or was it like a athletics slash academic scholarship, or were you there to play basketball?
No, no, no. So I was there for school. My parents sent me there to just get an education. Basketball was just a bonus. I think it's the same thing that a lot of people in the States have. A lot of adults want you to know that you're in school to learn, and basketball was just a tool you use to further your education. And once I got there, I was decent enough in basketball to find more opportunities once already there. But my primary reason for going to the States was, to further my education and learn as much as I can and bring back home and use that knowledge and use it out here as well.
Sounds good. Sounds good. So you used basketball as a tool up until, I believe you got injured at one point, and you kind of, it's injuries suck and they can really deter, especially young people from their dreams and ambitions. When you were playing back with the Rwanda national team, what year was that?
I was 16, so about 2015. We went to
Okay.
Mali. It was a Mali tournament.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So from 2015, now fast forward to 2025, 10 years later, how has basketball in Rwanda progressed and developed in your opinion?
Oof. I'll start with the growth of running basketball in the last 5 years has been unbelievable. And I'm just saying the last 5 years alone, from infrastructure to coaching to BL exposure to the professionalism and the rising fast, it's rising extremely fast in terms of general local professionalism. To where ticket sales from 3 years ago compared to now is almost a 360, extreme rising. It's exciting to see younger players and younger people have more opportunities already being in the country than I did outside of the States. So that's one thing I'm really happy about. I think for me, what I'm most excited about is the opportunities for business to come in basketball. There's a thing people like to say in the States is not everyone will make it to the league. And it's very sad to say to a child, and I think no one should don't say that to your kids, but it's also a reality that a lot of people have to come to realize. I love basketball. It was a part of my life for a very long time, 10 years over. And when I realized that it was best for me to just not play after my first injury, I had a second injury a couple of years after, and I was like, you know what, I'm tired with injuries. I was just trying to find happiness with being involved with basketball, but not playing directly. So I think the opportunities that are available outside of physically playing basketball, but the business opportunities that come with the sport internationally and locally are a great difference to make for people, you know. And me personally, if I couldn't still be involved in basketball to some extent, be it working with Azomco or working with players and bringing some players out here, I'd be a little bit less happier than I am right now. You know, not being able to play sucks, but being involved makes it a lot better, a lot better.
Absolutely, absolutely, and that's well stated, man. I couldn't agree with you more. Um, I think what you said about the development of Rwandan basketball and the progression that it has made. I think Azomco is a testament to that, right? Because I don't think that maybe like in order not to brag about ourselves, but like just the fact that we're there operating, you know what I'm saying, in Rwanda and trying to grow organization now with a men's and women's team in Division One. It shows that like people from outside are paying attention to Rwanda basketball, whereas maybe
Hmm.
before it was more domestic localities and stuff like that. But I think now many people, especially with the advent of the BAL and the BK Arena, lots of people are becoming more familiar with Rwandan basketball. So I just want to make sure that if you guys want to know more about Rwandan basketball, especially at Zomco Global, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can do so by hitting the notification bell as well, and follow us on Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, all across social media, Zomco Global. So you pivoted now from basketball into business. Have you always been interested in business? Is that what you studied at university, or how? What made you want to really develop businesses as a career?
Yeah, so I did my associates in business development and business management. So at first, it wasn't necessarily interest. I was always curious as to how business work, how they make money, how someone does something that they're passionate about, and makes a living off of it. And luckily enough, while I was still playing basketball, one of my host parents, his name is Mark Burton Senior, great trainer as well.
Wait a
He
minute,
kind
wait
of
a
had
minute,
this
wait a minute,
idea.
wait a minute. Once, oh, okay. Now
Oh
Okay,
yeah,
now
yeah,
I see the
yeah.
connection because
Senior,
the
yeah,
junior Mark Burton Jr. was actually playing in the league with UGB last season, right?
yes sir,
Okay,
yes
so he
sir.
had hosted you previously while you were in Utah.
Yeah, so I lived with his family for about 2 years. They were
Wow.
my family, they still are. And so Mr. Burton gave me some really good advice that I think stuck with me to this day. I still think about it whenever I have a conversation with a friend and I have even a tiny drop of advice that I could give is just to try and have as many sources of income as you can. And that's something I've been trying to work on consistently. It's one thing to open a business, for example, or have an opportunity for work where you have one salary, it's once a month and you get the same salary consistently. Whatever amount of time you're putting into that salary, you have more time in your day and you have more time to find an opportunity for another salary and to where, if that opportunity ever falls, you have another one to fall back on and more and more and more and more. So my concept of business has been trying to get as many sources of income as I can while living comfortably still, socializing, being involved with basketball and some the way I love to be. And that's what I'm working on right now.
Fantastic, man. Well, that's really impressive, man. Actually, inspirational because you hit the nail on the head. It's called diversification, right? Having
Oh, that's
diversified
yeah.
streams of income. This place, that place, real estate, business, small business, stocks, bonds, wherever you can have generating income coming in. It's help you be able to, you know what I'm saying, be more sustainable and
Mhm.
also be able to do more things in the community, travel more, take care of others around you. So may God bless you in your endeavors, bro. So why don't you just talk a little bit about your agricultural business that you have founded and kind of what solutions you're providing?
All right. So I love talking about this because most of the time when people speak of entrepreneurship, it's always an idea that they came up with. But this is not my creation. It's not an idea that I came up with at all. This is just an idea that's already pre-existing in other countries and helping them prosper better in the agricultural field. So my company is named Upgrow Rwanda. I founded it last year, officially launched the company website about in April this year. Under construction still, but we have things moving. So we're introducing aeroponic tower farming. The reason for this is because Rwanda is a small landlocked country. Unlike Dubai, there's not an ocean where we're just going to build more land out of. We have to deal with the current situation, which is growth in infrastructure and reduced land for agriculture. Our population will only increase over the next couple of years. It's inevitable. And with that increase in population, we'll have to also increase our housing ability. Sorry about that. And with housing ability comes less land usage. And that is why I feel aeroponic towers is the future of countries like Rwanda. Small landlocked countries that don't have too much land to use. It's the most logical way forward. To give you a perspective, Yusuf, if you take a square foot of land,
Hmm.
you could probably put 3 to 4 crops max if you're really pushing it. Now, with one aeroponic tower, you can go 52 to 196 crops per tower. Now, in perspective, it does sound pretty minute, but if you replicate that into thousands of acres of land, the amount of land you'll save is unmatched, especially if you can even stack them upwards and use the same piece of land continuously. So yeah, my idea was to introduce that in Rwanda in a manner that's first of all going to be more educational for the next 6 months. My entire pilot phase is going to be based off of learning and showing the community what crops we can grow. I will not be making any money for 12 months. Everything we grow is actually going back to the community. We'll be having food banks once a month, every 30 days for grow and giving away food for free for 12 months straight. So my goal is obviously to make this a business that's sustainable, but my number one goal is to make a change, like an actual impact in my community, create new ideas and opportunities for more people. So
Wow,
that's my vision right now for Upgrow.
that's amazing. That's amazing. So basically the general concept is to, instead of building horizontally, you build it vertically in these
Mhm.
towers. Yeah. So how does the
Exactly.
water filtration act? I mean, is going
Absolutely.
up and coming down? Is it circular? Or, I think that's something that maybe the audience might want to be interested in.
Absolutely. So the water filtration system starts with the water at the base of the tower, and it's nutrient-based water. And it uses a small minor pump to pump the water upwards to the top of the tower, and it drips back down, touching each root on the way back down. So it's really hard to explain. I have a video coming out at the end of this month on my company LinkedIn that I could share with you and everybody else when that's out. It will kind of explain how the tower works in a visual standpoint. But the point is, it's also 95% less water, no soil, so it's much cleaner than the traditional aspects of traditional ways of farming. And yeah, I think it's something that you'd have to see to
Mm.
truly appreciate, as I did as well. So we aim to support restaurants eventually, communities, hotels. It's reliable year round, so we're not going to be basing our crop growth on seasonal growth, unlike most other farms. Yeah, so for me, it's more about long-term impact, innovation, and building something that can truly outlive me. I want people to look back in 30 years and say, "Hey, Kenny, Kenny started this, right? He brought this to Rwanda at some point in time," and that would be enough for me, honestly.
Amazing, amazing. Building a
Yes,
legacy to
sir.
be left behind. That's amazing that you're thinking about that at a young age. So it's credit to you, man. Again, as
Thank you.
being a young businessman, entrepreneur. Yeah. So is there any other project that you're working on in Rwanda? You mentioned about agriculture. You mentioned about sports. What's next with you? What you got going on?
Right now, I'm working with a few organizations. I'm working with Eco Carrier, which is actually a Canadian-based company. We're trying to introduce AI initiatives into the African hub system, the African hub ecosystem. We started with Morocco with an amazing agricultural app called Morshid. I could tell you more about that through my own stuff. But on top of that, I'm also working with Azomco, thankfully in ACL, and we're looking to grow impact. We're looking to find opportunities of partnerships and companies that really believe in the vision of what you're trying to do at Azomco, the way that I do as well. And as well as our event coming up in Feb. I don't know if we could talk about that yet. I'll hold off until you're ready to push that narrative and that opportunity for people. But as of right now, I'm looking to be involved in things that make me happy and things that I could do every single day, not make a single dime out of it, and wake up the next day and be ready to go hard again. And that goes exactly in line with what I'm doing with Azomco and what I'm doing with Eco Carrier right now.
Again, man, very, very fantastic. Fantastic. It's good to have you on board. We need people like yourself who are, local Rwandans with a big vision, who are genuine, honest, trustworthy people. And obviously your knowledge with basketball and it emerging with business it creates the ideal perspective for what's this environment in Rwanda as it's quickly growing, quickly developing. So
So
people like yourself, you definitely come to the forefront. Is there anything else that you want to mention before we let you go? You wanted to shout out your social media. You mentioned LinkedIn and the video going to be coming. We'll hold
Yeah,
off on the February 13th event until we finalize and confirm the venue and the dates and the participants. So be on the lookout for that because that is going to be a game changer. I can tell you that right now, ladies and gentlemen. And it's going to be something that is going to be red hot and vibing and lit in Rwanda across of community, entertainment, basketball, Azomco, it's gonna be lit. So just stay tuned for that. We'll be announcing that shortly, and I look forward to meeting you in Rwanda next week, Kenny, and we can sit down and
absolutely.
finalize all those details. Is there anything else you want to wrap up, or any shout out to any social medias?
I'll shout out a Communities Legacy, ACL. This is actually a partner in organizing this event that we will be filling you guys in very soon. I don't have a personal social media, but I would love if you guys follow my LinkedIn account, Upgrow Rwanda, and Kenny Rubaduka as well. A lot of big things coming soon, and I'd love to have everybody, keeping up with that until our launch, which could be in next year, March. So stay in tune for sure.
For sure, for sure, for sure. Well, thank you, man. Thank you for the conversation. Best of luck with all your endeavors. And yeah, again, I look forward to meeting you next week, man. So take care of yourself. I mean, in the meantime, keep to follow the Think Global podcast, and we have more guests coming on, sharing all the international insights in sports and music and business and entertainment. So continue to follow us, and I'm gonna link all the Kenny's LinkedIn in the description below. Till then, you guys take
Awesome.
care and continue to think global.
Thank you guys. Thank you too. Appreciate it.